Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh, what do you do in AI industry? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Som, the co-founder and CEO of AI Palette. At AI Palette, we help the food and beverage companies with their new product innovation. For example,
Wow.
if a beverage company wants to launch a new juice in Thailand, our platform will tell them what kind of juice they should launch next so that the consumers love it.
Wow. You use data to analyze the food market, right?
Yeah, exactly. So for
Wow.
a particular country, for a particular type of food and beverage, we analyze the big data around food to identify the trends, consumer interest, and predict what is going to be the next big thing.
Oh, wow. So
And
excited.
and what about you? What do you do?
I doing deep invest capital. We doing about AI for investment like management the fund, crypto, stock or forex, right? But now we are private fund for invite only. Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about generative AI today and how it is
Uh,
going to disrupt the SaaS industry.
okay.
And
Nice.
yeah, let's keep it as a dialogue.
Yeah. What the definition of generative AI
Okay.
for you?
So generative AI for me is when AI creates anything new and when it is not doing analysis of existing things. So for me, that is generative AI. Till now, most of the application of AI has been where we have a lot of data and we use AI to do analytics around it to give us the insights or do a prediction around it. But now we are slowly moving into real AI where AI is creating the stuff which had not existed before.
Ah, yeah.
And what would be your definition of generative AI?
I think the same like you because the generative AI is like AI that can learn more things and uh, can analyze and show the result with uh, like the human. Just like Mid Journey is can drawing the picture if you want to in like you in your imagine right about that. Yeah. And what do you think the key benefit of generative AI for SaaS? The key benefit for SaaS.
Okay. So, what you see generative AI can do is that it can bring in a lot of efficiency when it comes to creative work. So, even when 5 years back we are talking about AI, we always said that AI will only take away those kind of work which is repetitive. But slowly we are moving into the space where AI is going into the creative part as well. Uh, I mean, 5 years back we thought, okay, people who are doing creative work, that kind of work AI cannot do. But now we can see that AI can do the creative work. So if generative AI is able to bring in efficiency and reduce the work by 10%, it would mean trillions of dollars in saving when it comes to the whole industry altogether. So, I mean, it is a very promising technology, one of the most exciting technologies that we have today.
Ah, okay. But for me, generative AI will can insert the human some work or help to more productivity in some work too. Yeah. And what do you think about the last 10 for generative AI?
So in the SaaS space, there are multiple implications for it. So for example, right now we see it in around 5 domains. So the first one is around text, when it comes to copywriting, short copywriting and medium copywriting.
Right,
Uh,
the ChatGPT, right?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
ChatGPT is the biggest example, right? Everybody is talking about ChatGPT today, and it's sort of like has become our personal assistant.
Yeah.
So we can take it one step further. For example, if we need to write an email, we can use the AI to write that email for us, create the right subject line, which will get the right attention from the person whom we are sending it. For me, I used it towards the end of December when I had to send a lot of thank you mails, Christmas greeting, wishes for the new year. I mean, I used ChatGPT in a wholesale way. So,
Wow.
I mean, the biggest application is in text. Then we see in images as well. And the image which are created by AI is seeing the most maximum amount of user engagement because it's fun. It
Yeah.
captures attention immediately. But also the other part where we are seeing a lot of application is coding. I mean, my
I think
engineers
that's
tell
it.
me that before they had to spend a lot of time to create a mundane code. Right now they go to Chat GPT, which gives them the starting code, and they need to just make some small tweaks, and it helps them in saving a lot of time. And some of the more futuristic ones for SaaS would be when it comes to speech synthesis. So, for example, we'd be able to hear, say, Michael Jackson or Beatles sing again because there is already the old music that they have created. AI can learn and recreate a new tune completely in a way the way Michael Jackson or Elvis Presley would have done. And also in gaming, right?
Wow.
Creating new scenarios for gaming.
Oh. Wow.
And what are your thoughts in this?
I think for me the big trend about generative AI is for coding, because if you want to transform the industry to AI, you want to code, and if you have AI for coding, you can move it too fast. And now my team use AI to uh, help about coding AI. Yeah, we use ChatGPT to help, and we we found some new solution for our business, for investment or for make the new new architecture for AI. Yeah, it's, it's so interesting for us.
Yeah, it is exciting.
Yeah, and uh, the, what do you think about the risks of generative AI?
The risk of generative AI.
Yeah,
So, I mean, there are two types of risk that we see. So, if you are a company which works in the space of generative AI, the first risk is cost. So, Chat GPT is able to give us everything for free, primarily because Microsoft has given them Azure, right?
yeah,
For the free queries that we are running for fun, OpenAI is losing a lot of money. So, any SaaS startup which is in the generative AI, they need to figure it out that the cost economics really works for them and that they are able to have a scalable business. And the second part is around the technology. The technology is still fairly new, so they need to make sure that they iron out everything within the technology and that it's scalable in the future. So those are the two risks if you are a SaaS startup. And the broader implications that we have over here is more around copyright. Okay, so you create something using copyright. For example, music by Beatles, right? Now, who holds the copyright? The copyright is owned by the company or the music industry or the music company which owns the copyrights for Beatles music. It's gray area, right? You can argue the other way. Or is it the coder who wrote the code which created the music of Beatles? And the other part is, which is even more scary for me, is the misinformation. Today we already have a lot of fake news. Now using AI, you can create not just text but also videos, or you can completely have somebody else like, say, Donald Trump. You can recreate Donald Trump talking about anything, and it's very difficult for a normal human to figure out whether it's AI synthesized or is it real. So that for me is like the biggest risk and a scary part of generative AI, how you will fight and figure out what is real and what is not real.
ah, yeah. But for me, I'm scared for generative AI because the small and medium business will die. Yeah, if AI can code and can do more things, big company can invent everything in industry. Them can make the service, but just write to AI. I want to make the Microsoft Word. I want to make the service something. Yeah, and they can do it or yeah, and you tell about the data and the resource of to make the AI in the future is so expensive. Yeah, the small and medium business can you can make it in the future.
Yeah, right. And also, most of the application that we see today of generative AI is like where you give an input and you take the output out. It spits out the output.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see the real benefit where the input that goes into creating that generative AI, there is a feedback loop around it, and that iterative process makes the thing better and better, right? So that the algorithm learns from what it is spitting it out. And because today what generative AI gives you, it's more like the first draft on which you improve, right? So that improvement that we are doing generally happens outside the AI space. So we need to figure out how we are able to take it back, give it as an input to the AI so that it learns, becomes better.
Yeah.
And then only over the next several iterations, it will become even closer to what a human would think. Then that first draft would be like, okay, 90% there.
Yeah. And in the future, the software house may have just the project manager, but the developer we just use AI to generate code, the application for requirement of customer. Yeah.
Right.
And what do you think about the company or industry want to prepare for generative? What we should to prepare before the future come about generative AI?
The future opportunities.
Yeah.
So I mean, now what you used to see as sci-fi, it's like almost reality for us, right? AI is creating music, AI is creating art for us. So I see by 2030, generative AI is deeply embedded into what we are doing. So it will be like from text, you can almost create a Pixar movie. You give the storyline to AI, AI creates the storyline, then AI creates that movie and the video for you. Or you imagine you want to 3D print something, then the AI will create the design of the 3D print and the printer will print it out automatically for you. Today, generative AI is only able to write short form and medium form content. I expect that in the next 5 to 10 years, it will be able to write a complete novel for you, and it will be an engaging novel. And when it comes to advertisements and music videos, it will be able to recreate even better music videos and entertainment for us human being.
Yeah, I think in the future, imagine may be important than the knowledge, like I started.
Yeah.
And how to, if we have the company or business, how to prepare for generative AI? Or prepare it for the future. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, in terms of getting ourselves prepared for the generative AI, we need to figure out like what are the best use cases for it. Getting the organizations and the mindset ready for generative AI so that we are able to bring it to life faster. I mean, ChatGPT is an exciting example, but beyond that, what is the real application for a particular horizontal industry, a vertical industry? Right now, everything around generative AI is horizontal, right? Copywriting, which is the most popular example and the most widely used. How can we use it for a particular industry like medical? How it can write medical journals, or if it is an industry like automobile, how it can write about automobile. So getting into those specific verticals and developing generative AI models is where the opportunity lies for the SaaS companies today. So big companies like Microsoft and Google, they are going to build the broad models, horizontal models. Now the real opportunity for the SaaS startup is when they are able to build a vertical model, but they put the vertical understanding on top of it, and that would create a truly differentiated product, and that's where the market is up for grabs.
Yeah. And what human life for in the future, because the AI will instant human, right? Yeah. And um, what your business prepare for generative AI? Do you do it now or not?
Yeah. What are your thoughts? I mean, I'm interested in hearing that.
Oh, now we just use the ChatGPT for coding for help them in that. If you have the idea, we can try the ChatGPT to code them on and check it. If it's wrong, we can fix it and run it too fast. Yeah, we can make a new idea. We can try them more than before. Yeah. And what do you do about generative AI in your com?
On ChatGPT?
On everything in
Okay.
everything.
Yeah. Right. So, what we are expecting is that the industries which are able to see the benefit fastest would be the media and advertising. For example, today when you go to a website, it's a standard view which me and you see. But in future, the generative AI based on my interest will show a different web page versus you when you go in, because your interest will be different. So it will be a personalized experience, and that way, when you have a personalized web page, you have more chances of doing transaction on that website. When it comes to digital advertising, lot of copies need to be created, again based on your interest and other things. Otherwise, all of us see the same ad every time, right? I mean, when you go to YouTube or when you go on Google or anything, you see the same ad 20 times. So here, generative AI will help in creating those copies, which is much more interesting for you, and not just the copy, but also the image based on your interest. So that field is going to see the fastest changes coming in. Coding for sure, and that would make the coders much more efficient, even though the coders, they like to think that coding is a creative work, but a lot of work is also mundane where you're doing the same thing again and again. And also, if I have to think about the more futuristic part, it would probably be in the field of biotechnology as well. Maybe we'll be seeing like generative cells, and that would help in unlocking further opportunities in the field of medical and biotechnology.
Wow. And the last question, what do you think? What is the challenge to make the better generative AI?
So again, the challenges would be similar to what is there with the other AI applications today, making sure that the right data is there. When you try to get into these vertical specific use cases, you need to make sure that the right data is there. I mean, ChatGPT was able to do it quickly because it worked on the internet and the data is quite generic in nature. But for the vertical use cases, you need to make sure that you have the right amount of data for it. The technology is matured enough and also cost effective enough for us to do something around it, figure out the business model that we are not just burning cash, but we are also able to generate enough revenue out of it. I mean, this field is going to see a lot of investment in the coming days from the VCs because it is the new and exciting thing.
Yeah.
But along the way, the SaaS startups, we need to figure out the right business model and the right unit economics for this one.
Hello. You mentioned horizontal and vertical use cases. Can you please add a little bit more context? What the main difference between vertical and horizontal use cases? Thank you.
Yeah. So horizontal use case is where something is generic and can be used for any industry. So it is not very nuanced. For example, you ask AI to write a paragraph on what it is like to be in Bangkok, it can write it pretty easily. Vertical would be when it goes specific to a particular topic and go really deep in it. For example, writing about the food and beverage in Bangkok, right? What is the unique and nuanced about it? So for that, you need the AI to understand and have an understanding of food and beverage. And then only it will be able to write something which is more nuanced. Now, food and beverage it's still a slightly easier topic, but if he has to write about a topic like, say, environment or the soil health or the agriculture part, it becomes more and more technical. Or say, for example, say medical. So you would need a generative AI which understands medical and can write with the same proficiency a doctor or a researcher would write about it.